Good morning and welcome. Today I'll continue reading from the book Letters to Young Lovers. Today's topic, marriage is like Christ's love for his chosen people. Marriage is like Christ's love for his chosen people. That's how dear family is to God. God is about his church, and the family. Marriage is very important to God. We must know what we are doing in God's eyes. In both the Old and the New Testament, the marriage relation is employed to represent the tender and sacred union that exists between Christ and his people, the redeemed ones whom he has purchased at the cost of Calvary. Fear not, he says, thy Maker is thine husband, the Lord of hosts is his name, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Turn, O backsliding children, saith the Lord, for I am married unto you. Isaiah 54 and verse 4 and 5, also Jeremiah 3:14. When you are baptized, you're married to Christ through baptism. You're joined with him. So when we backslide, we break our vows. We step away from Christ. And once we do that and continue doing it, when we get married, we'll do the same. We must learn to endure in our relationships. Put Christ in the middle. Let Christ help us. We cannot do it on our own. You know, the enemy is on the loose, my people. So we are to learn to put Jesus first in all we do, you know, and he will see us through. It's a risky thing to do anything, especially this time where we are now in Earth's history. Can't take no chances with that enemy of ours. He doesn't like us. He doesn't like family. He doesn't like marriages. He doesn't like the church. He doesn't like God's church. So he will try to do things to tear families apart, to tear the church apart, homes. So we have to keep Jesus at all times. Jesus be the center of it all. In the Song of Songs, we hear the bride's voice saying, my beloved is mine, and I am his, and he who is to her the chiefest among 10,000. Speak to his chosen one. Thou art all fair. My love, there is no spot in thee. Song of Solomon 2 verse 16 also, 5 and verse 10, also chapter 4 and verse 7. Married life gets better and better. Men and women can reach God's ideal for them if they will take Christ as their helper. We must rely on God. What human wisdom cannot do, his grace will accomplish for those who give themselves to him in loving trust. Remember, God is the one who is the founder for marriage. So there is no one on this earth who knows better how to make a marriage work than Christ himself. Remember, he was the one who put Adam and Eve together, right? So when we go to him, you know, he will give us ideas. He will put words in our mouth to say to our partner. He will be there because he wants the marriage to work. God wants our relationship, the church, the families, the community. When marriages fall apart, you're going to have the community breaking apart because homes are falling apart. So we don't have a strong community. We don't have a strong home, a strong church. It is sad when we go to church and we hear that sister so-and-so and her husband, they are separating, they are divorcing and all that. No. Let us invite Jesus. He will win. He is the winner man. And please, do not get into marriage if you are not ready for it. Don't get married. Talk to Jesus and he will do it for us. Amen. We are his people and he loves us. His providence can unite hearts in bonds that are of heavenly origin. Love will not be a mere exchange of soft and flattering words. The loom of heaven weaves with warp and woof finer, yet more firm. than that can be woven by the looms of earth. The result is not a tissue fabric, but a texture that will bear wear and test and trial. Heart will be bound to heart in the golden bonds of a love that is enduring. To love as Christ loved means to manifest unselfishness at all times and in all places. Even sometimes, when we see our partner do things that are not pleasing, just laugh at the storm, because God will help us to fix it. Tell God that, sometimes it's best if you go to God and say, God, I do not like what my partner is doing, because sometimes when they do not understand what you're trying to get across to them, whether male or female, it's going to cause argument, because you don't know what the enemy is saying to the person that you're talking to. You don't know what that person is being exposed to. So go to Jesus, and Jesus will break every chain. Whatever the enemy introduces to the mind, whatever the enemy is speaking to that partner of yours, God will break every chain and set your partner free. Sometimes the husband will go to the wife and she flare up. Don't tell me anything because you behave like you're perfect. No, he doesn't have to perfect to be correcting you. Even if you know that your husband has a fault, he still has a right to come and speak to you. Bear one another's burden, pray for one another, and correct one another in love. Amen. He has a fault. Doesn't mean that he cannot speak. He is still God's son. Alright? So don't fly upon the man and tell him, don't talk to me because you have faults too. No. Let him correct you. And then 2 days after, in love and kindness and mercy and unselfishness, you go to him and you say, honey, so and so and so. Alright? And he's going to be like, correct him in love. And you will see, he will come back and say to you, thank you, my love. I wasn't looking at it that way, and I didn't realize I was doing something wrong. Yes. Take time to love. The effects can never be estimated. Not only are they a blessing to the receiver, but to the giver, for they react upon him. Genuine love is a precious attribute of heavenly origin. So when you find genuine love, it is connected to God. The man's heart or the woman's heart has come in great contact with God, which increases in fragrance in proportion as it is dispensed to others. Christ's love is deep and earnest, flowing like an irrepressible stream to all who will accept it. There is no selfishness in love or in his love. In this heaven-born love is an abiding principle in the heart. It will make itself known not only to those we hold most dear in sacred relationship, but to all with whom we come in contact. Love everybody. It will lead us to bestow little acts of attention, to make concessions, to perform deeds of kindness, to speak tender, true, encouraging words. It will lead us to sympathize with those whose hearts hunger for sympathy. And you know what? Sometimes we're praying that we need a life partner, but God will not give it to us. You know why? We're not practicing to love our classmate. We're not practicing to love our church family. We're not practicing to love our biological family. People on the street. We have to learn to love people. We have to love before God will put us with a man or a woman in marriage. Because we're going to bring the same selfishness in there. We practice day by day. Practice with our children, in our homes, at work. If we are so mean, it becomes a habit. So we take it wherever we go. And the worst place to take it is into a relationship, a marriage relationship. Because marriage is very, very important to God. That's what keeps up his church. When we have married people in the church, it is stronger. Amen. And while the younger ones are there, train them so that they too can come and make good choices. Amen. God bless you. We stop here for today and we think on these things. I am not perfect. You are not perfect. But we desire heaven. And if we desire heaven, we better get it right. Queen Esther love you, and please love me back, because Jesus is love. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. I'm praying for you and for the young.